What's up, everybody?
What's happening, family?
And welcome back to another episode of Is This Gonna Cause an Argument? My name is Angel Akita Moore, also known as That Chick Angel.
My name is Marcus Tanksley, also known as Marcus Ain't on the Gram.
And we are the host of Is This Gonna Cause an Argument, a weekly podcast that me and my husband produce so that we can give you all great conversation on things such as relationships, family, a little bit of pop culture, politics, just whatever's on our mind and what might be on your heart. Because we take viewer suggestions. So make sure you are following us on all social media platforms. You can follow me at That Chick Angel every single where. And
y'all can find me on Instagram and Facebook at Marcus Ain't on the Gram and Marcus Ain't on the Book. Also,
you have a beard and body butter that you wanted to tell them about.
You just like hearing your voice, don't you? Let me talk.
Go ahead.
Why I got a beard
wait a minute. You're giving them this like very soft.
Because I was about to say something and you jumped in before I had a chance because I was going to say the rest of my
Go ahead,
nicknames. But anyway, y'all can find my beard and body butter. It's called Man Shit. That's MANSHYT. You can go to manshit.com. It's 100% all natural beard and body butter that I make myself. I package it. I mix it. I ship it out.
He does. He does all the things. All of the things, and I am so proud of him. I also want to give a huge shout out to a group of people that on a daily basis make me feel like a better person, make me want to be a better human being, and I get so much energy and love from them. My Angel Wings, they are a group of fantastic people that are a part of our Patreon membership. If you would like to be a part of our Patreon, you can go to www.patreon.com/thatchickangel. They're actually watching this podcast being shot live. We're able to see their comments. Yes. And there's so many things that are offered as a Patreon member. At $5, you get early and exclusive content. And we're able to keep this whole entire thing going. You know what I'm saying? Conversation. So at $5, you get so many things. You get
Absolutely.
Early content, you get exclusive content, you get to keep the conversation going with us. So make sure you check it out. Also, please rate and review this podcast wherever you're listening to it. Listening to it, whether it be Apple Podcast, whether it be Spotify. It makes us more discoverable. So
Absolutely.
we hope you enjoy it and you decide to tune in next week as well.
Yeah.
We also want to give a big shout out to our 3 sponsors this episode.
We got Magic Spoon. Big shout out to them. BetterHelp, and Usual Wines.
And we'll tell you more about them as the podcast progresses. Okay?
Yeah.
But
did I hit a button or something? It's like your energy level is all over the place. You came in at a 10, then it dropped to like a 7.
I was matching your energy because you came in like we were on the
No, I came in because I was getting interrupted.
No. You were like, and I'm Marcus Ain't on the Gram.
You use a lot.
And Marcus Ain't on the Book. Join us for Nighttime Hour with the Tanks.
Get on with it, girl.
Get on with it. You get on with it. Come on. No.
Running it. I can't get a word in edgewise.
You know what?
I'm watching you.
We're gonna switch seats.
No, we ain't switching nothing.
I'm
writing the times now.
Oh, is that? Look at you. He's such a cute little secretary. Look at you.
Let's get out
I'm gonna pat you on your butt like they used to do in the olden days. Mm-hmm. Good job. Pat. So what you want to do today? In My Feelings, or are we doing a Tanksley Pride story?
Let's do In My Feelings.
You know what? I was going to say...
You always do Tanksley Pride.
Well, the only reason why I was thinking Tanksley Pride is because the day that this podcast drops...
It'll be Amar's birthday.
Yes, it will.
Go
but
ahead.
We can do In My Feelings.
No.
Do you have it In My Feelings?
I ain't got nothing until it's my turn.
That's a shame. You need to be a professional.
I am a professional. That's why I always got something right there.
Right there. So, Tanksley Pride story. For those of y'all who follow us on any of our other social media platforms, we share our life, our family on my YouTube channel, That Chick Angel TV, as well as on Instagram. And most people know that we have 4 boys. And so we call them Tanksley Pride. That is their Instagram handle. You can follow them there. I haven't been really uploading here lately, but hopefully more here soon. But the youngest of our 4 boys is Amar. And his birthday, he'll be turning 1 this Wednesday. Cannot believe it. Well, my mother lives with us, and she gets a lot of joy out of being able to be around her grandboys, even though she has plenty other grandchildren that she loves to pieces as well. But she's definitely enjoying the love and admiration that our boys give her, especially Amar. Now, my mother, who only raised girls, had a completely different parenting experience just off of that, because the gender of her 4 children were girls. So my experience as a parent is that these kids are crazy, and they're going to do what they want as far as in physically with their bodies. Yeah. They're going to jump off of stuff. They're going to run. Absolutely. They're going to fall and scrape half of their face off. They're going to do a lot of things that I didn't necessarily do as a girl, nor do I remember my sisters doing. But for some reason, my mother has not really allowed it to like permeate in her head that like these boys is crazy. So anytime, not
crazy, they boys.
Yes, i.e. crazy. So my mother, when Amar or the boys do something that could potentially cause them to fall or hurt themselves, is like, yeah, like it's
jumping to her feet.
Like it is on a whole nother like level. Like what in the world? What exactly are you doing? So she's always like, cause he's not gonna follow my watch. Well, yesterday she finally got to experience what we experienced, and that was Amar did some mess off in the cut real quick. You think you know what he's going to do, but then he decides, nah, I'm going to do the opposite thing. And he hit his head and has a huge bruise.
As he always does.
He constantly.
On his forehead. As soon as that one goes away, he'll get another one.
He will get another one. And my mother felt terrible, whatever. And for us, we were just like, it was going to happen anyway.
Not on my watch. Bullshit.
It was going to happen on everybody's watch. Because that's what they do. They be trying to, as Marcus said, get concussed all the time. Like,
we walked through the door and she's like, yeah, he fell. I was like, yeah, he did. I'm sure he did. I went on about my business. Like, he looked at his phone. Yep, that's a good one.
Yes, that's just what, and I think she thinks it's because we're laid back parents. That's the reason why our kids be hurting themselves. It's just like, it doesn't matter if we bubble wrap them from head to toe. They would find that one space that maybe bubble wrap wasn't really covering all that well,
and it will be penetrated probably.
Boom, like they were
right there.
So obviously he didn't care because he's so used to it. She was like, he cried for a second and then he went about his business. I was like,
He probably got a callus right there by now. It's just hard if you touch it. We think we feeling his skull, but we're not. It's actually just a callus.
Yeah, so yes, some of the people in the Patreon comments call him the landlord / slumlord because he walks around this house as if he runs it. Like he's walking around swinging his arms, looking at me like, clean this shit up off my ass. Yeah. Like that's how I feel like he is always dealing with me. But he doesn't own anything, but he walks around as if he does.
Yeah, you couldn't tell him he don't.
Oh yeah. So this is him at 1. I cannot imagine him at 3, because 3 is where our kids go buck wild. That is like the only real trying time we have with our children is at 3, and the fact that he's not even 1 with his attitude and personality, I don't even know. Yeah. I don't even know what I'm gonna do.
Because he's already hit his side. Because Sai was an issue when he was 2. And Amar is coming up on 1, and he's already at them issues. Yeah. But they, like you said, they all mellow out.
Well,
they all have their heel. Now then they hit that valley where it's like, all right, let me just coast and I'm cool.
Yeah, I wonder when maybe he'll hit it earlier since he's such a mess right now. I don't know. I have no idea. So what's your Tank Sleep Pride story? You say you always ready. Go ahead.
I am always ready. You stop talking. Let me talk. Goodness. Some people.
You buying yourself some time?
Yeah. No, mine is just watching them. Like, what was that, yesterday? What's today? Sunday? So yesterday, watching the 4 of them, like, Sai, Kai, and Marcus, they would just be wrestling and having a good time, or not even with each other, just in one room, everybody doing their own thing. And Amar's in there, and he thinks he's being a part of it. But his being a part of it is just being equally as loud as they are. So he just being there squealing and yelling just right along with them. But what's funny is seeing him and Kai interact with each other.
Amar and Kai?
Yeah. Amar and Kai. That's the relationship I'm going to be curious to see when they get older. Because Sai, of course, loves all over Amar. He's annoyingly in his face.
He's more excited about the 1-year-old birthday party than I am.
Yeah. Sai, I'm always ready to just like smack Sai on the forehead. Just stop, get out of his face, because he stays in that boy's face. To where Kai kind of treats him the way he treats me. He's just like, oh yeah, it's my little brother over there. I'll let him do his thing.
He'll sometimes come up and give him
kisses. But then yeah, he'll give him kisses and like hug him. But it's more so of, yeah, you part of this too, little homie. Yeah. I got you. You know.
And the thing is, Amar really thinks he does when Kai and Sai wrestle a lot.
Yeah.
And Amar will get into it. And the thing is, he knows like how it's crazy. He knows how to play with them.
Yeah.
Like they'll be on the floor wrestling, and Amar
puts his butt or his belly on their face.
Like he'll usually walk backwards and then have his butt fall on top of them.
Yeah. Or just go lay on them, like on their face, because he does that with me. He like poke out his belly and walk up and just press his belly against my face. I'm like, is that you wrestling with me?
And he's like, absolutely. I know what my strong skills are. But no, their dynamic is absolutely adorable. This is a little bit different, because it doesn't involve Amar. But yesterday, when Marcus was out running his errands unsuccessfully,
oh my God,
that would have been.
I got all kinds of in my feelings.
The 3 older boys were playing hide and seek, and it was great because it was a really good game. They were struggling. Little Marcus was getting found first a couple of times, and he was hot. He's like, the problem is because I'm so much bigger than them, I have less spaces to hide. I said, well, but you're also smarter than them, so you should be craftier than that, shouldn't you? But then I joined in and played with them. And Kai didn't even hide. Kai forgot we were playing hide and go seek. He was sitting on the bed watching TV. I said, Kai?
Yeah, sounds like Kai.
I said, I found you. He's like, oh.
That's right. We doing your little game, ain't we?
He was all about it before I was the seeker. And as soon as I became the seeker, he was like, yeah, whatever. Yeah. I found Sai next. And then little Marcus didn't realize that the security system talks to us. So I realized he went outside because she was like, open. Yeah. And I was like, okay.
Din door open.
I was like, okay, he's somewhere outside. And Supreme also gave it away because when I stepped outside, if one of us steps outside, Supreme, our dog.
He's going to greet you like, what's up?
No, he was over in the corner with Lil Marcus having a blast. He was like, oh, so what are we doing?
The back of him just wagging.
But before we jump into that, that was Tanksley Pride's story. So where we share stories of our lovely children. But before we jump into the topic of the day, I want to tell you about our first sponsor, Magic Spoon.
Magic Spoon, y'all.
We've talked about Magic Spoon before. As parents of 4 boys, cereal is a must-have in our house. Like, I could fix pancakes, I can fix eggs, I can do all that. But what they still gonna want, like they daddy, is a bowl of cereal. So it's so great to know that there is a cereal out there that's fun, that's not full of a bunch of sugar.
Zero sugar.
Come on.
But it tastes like... It just tastes like some stuff that you shouldn't be eating, like a kid cereal. You know how kid cereal just tastes really good? You know you shouldn't eat it?
And we don't give our kids kid cereal. Like, they be having a mature adult cereal. So this is finally one that has some kid-like qualities to it, but it's healthy. So Magic Spoon has 0 sugar, 11 grams of protein, and only 3 net grams of carbs in each serving. It has 4 flavors: cocoa, fruity, frosted, and blueberry. Blueberry is still my favorite, and we didn't eat all of it. Marcus said that a close second for him was fruity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fruity, but that blueberry, it's good.
It's
still holding the crown.
It tastes amazing and honestly too good to be true. It's keto friendly, gluten-free, grain-free, soy-free, low-carb, and GMO-free. I'm going to tell you right now, if you're a person that likes cereal, but you over here not trying to go crazy and have a bunch of sugar, because like I said, I used to be that wake up at 3 a.m. and eat cereal type of girl, and now I can do it without feeling guilty. Magic Spoon is for you. So go to magicspoon.com/argue to grab a variety pack and try it today. And be sure to use our promo code ARGUE at the checkout to get free shipping. And Magic Spoon is so confident in their product, it's backed with a 100% happiness guarantee. So if you don't like it for any reason, they'll refund you your money, no questions asked. That's magicspoon.com/argue and use the promo code ARGUE for free shipping. We thank Magic Spoon for sponsoring this podcast.
Appreciate that, Magic Spoon.
So, our topic today, I thought, was really, really like a good one to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
And one reason is one of our friends just got out of something's on my tongue. Just got out of self-isolation because he had been tested positive for COVID-19. So, obviously, that put a lot more responsibilities on his spouse because he was sick, right? So the shout out to our friends Gay Babe TV.
Yes.
They have been guests of this podcast. They have a podcast as well called The Love Hour. You can go check them out. Not The Love Hour, dear God, Let's Make Out. The Love Hour is our other friend.
All our friends. We all have podcasts and friends that podcast.
Podcasting and friends in the podcast and the podcast. But anyways, from the Let's Make Out podcast. However, it made me think of, I was like, oh, Marcus, we should talk about the topic of taking care of your spouse.
Yeah.
Sometimes like taking care of your loved one. Mm-hmm. So that,
which could come out, it could be like different things. Like it could be when you need to take care of it, whether taking care of them or taking extra responsibility because they're not able to at the time, or what, what have you. So,
in the vows, the traditional vows, they say, in sickness and in health, till death do us part. And a lot of people don't realize that in sickness is, it's not a joke. I think a lot of times we think, because we love someone, that to take care of them if they aren't feeling great is easy. It's not. Or sometimes we equate it to taking care of a child when they're not sick.
Yeah, like right? You got control of it and you can do everything and pick them up and nurture them and everything will be okay.
Right. But I think sometimes we forget that a child typically does not share responsibilities with you. So what I mean by that, if little Marcus gets sick, the only one of his responsibilities that I have to pick up from him besides taking care of him is the fact that he now sweeps for me. That's pretty much it. Yeah. However, when your spouse gets sick,
mm-hmm.
typically I would say in most functional, non-dysfunctional marriages, there is a distribution of responsibilities.
Right. So
if the person can't and is out for the count, you have to figure out a way to pick up those pieces. So I wanted to talk about situations specifically that Marcus and I have went through where one of us was either helping to take care of the other person or having to just help the other person through that moment, and what we learned or what like how we felt being the spouse taking care of the other person, and also vice versa, being the spouse that had to be taken care of. What did we appreciate and what did we want? What did we want in that situation? Because sometimes you don't know until you're in it. Like, I really need this, but sometimes you just don't know how to verbalize it in the moment because you're grateful that that
what's being done is being done, but
right.
You're not sure if they do something that you weren't expecting, and you're like, oh, I didn't know that I needed that done.
Right, exactly, and that can be hard. So, since me and Marcus have been together, I have never been injured severely, but I have had situations that have either kind of brought me down really far. Like, I would say physically, the only things that I've had that have impaired my ability is having children. Like, I've had to, after having each child, obviously, I'm typically not back at 100% immediately. It takes some time before I can physically do all the things that I used to do. And, but I've never had, like, any, like, injury. But as far as in, like, other things that have, like, kind of brought me down, especially mentally, was when my alopecia flare-up happened in 2016. That lasted for 2 or 3 solid years. And then also every time I got let go of from a job, those blows were huge for me. And it's not as if I wallow for very long, but it still like took some time to like, let me crawl myself out of this self-pity hole real quick.
Yeah. I got a question.
What?
On the first, when you was talking about pregnancy and like bouncing back and everything, I know there's no normal because all women are different, but were your recoveries more severe than others? Or is that average?
I think mine were actually a lot better than most.
Really?
Yeah.
God dang, see, that's a part of pregnancy that they don't be telling people.
The recovery time,
yeah. The recovery time, but what you were going through during the recovery.
Yeah, no, I don't think a lot of people talk about it because people be too tired to even be like, let me express what I'm going through.
I don't remember going through all that with Marcus. I know with the twins it was different.
Tell me what you from the outside looking in, what you felt like I was experiencing.
I can't speak to the pain because god dang. I guess the being weak, not being able to walk as much, and all the pad changing.
All the pad changing. Yeah, no, I think I recovered probably faster than most.
Really?
Absolutely.
It wasn't, like I said, it wasn't a time issue. It was what was going on in that time.
Yeah, and the thing is, I wasn't honestly in a lot of pain. That's the one thing. Like,
it may just look painful, I guess.
I think it looked painful to you. I wasn't in a lot of pain. It's just like my muscles were still trying to figure out, now, what are we supposed to do now? We just did this whole marathon of pushing these babies out of you. Now what are we supposed to do? Because, like, for me, like, the walking was was like trying to, not so much walking, it's the, okay, now you're going from laying to putting all your weight onto your legs. Make sure your legs and your hips are in one accord so that nothing happens on the way to the restroom. And then, yeah, the bleeding, no. Like, I promise you, I feel like I recovered so much faster than most of my
like
friends.
I said, it has nothing to do with the time. It was just
how painful. Yeah, and even pain. You know, most of
all the blood. I think mine is the bleeding.
The bleeding throws you off.
Yeah, like help, like swapping out them pads for you and everything.
That was a lot.
I was like, this is more than last time.
You thought so more so with Amar? Is that what you?
No, them twins. I think that was a difference. That's why I said with the twins it was different.
With the twins, I was carrying more blood. Like the actual blood volume in my body was so much more. My body was having to get rid of it. So yeah, I can see how that can be traumatizing, which is the problem because I feel like we don't educate our young men well enough on fatherhood. Like, I think we prepare them on kind of sort of on the aspect of providing. Yeah. But when it comes to, like, the being helpful to if you have a female spouse, I don't think we educate.
No, a young man has no idea. Unless he was old enough to see his mother go through that with a younger sibling, we have no idea. But word of advice, just be a servant. Be the best goddamn servant you know how to be.
Yeah, you have to.
Like, for real. Like, that's, I know anybody out there that don't know, that's the only thing I can tell you.
Because I even know, like, me and Marcus still have to have constant conversations about just my sex drive alone being so different than what it was in my 20s. And I'm trying to think, has it changed even? I think it's potentially going more towards the better, but compared to in my 20s, I know he's just like, what is going on? And I'm like, to be honest, I don't know. I honestly do not know. I am responding how my body responds, how my brain responds. I am not trying to be less interested than when I was when we first met. But like with all the responsibilities that are now on my plate, it is not like my top priority to figure out how to fix it. Like,
Yeah.
so even with that, it's not that I don't consider myself broke or ill, but it is something.
Yeah, but that's still, that was a healthy conversation, because it's like, what's going on? I don't know. Oh, well, all right. That's good to know.
Yes.
But let's try to do something to fix this shit.
Well, I told him, I said, you by all means.
Stat.
You by all means can do all the research you want to on it, and you can report back to me. I don't have time because I am busy with these kids, busy building this stuff.
I done blew up one laptop. I'm working on my second one. Like we enter. Print that out. Download.
Right. But that's the same thing like with Marcus when it comes to, well, it's not the same thing.
Yeah, let's get back on.
I'm about to come.
Okay.
No, but that's what I was about to.
Yeah.
So Marcus has had to help me in those ways, but for him, he's had to go through a couple of different physical ailments.
My goddamn body. I put too much on my body.
You thought you were invincible?
Yeah.
Wow.
Because I felt invincible for so long.
Yeah. That's got to be difficult.
It is. That's a ego. That's a kick to the egos right there.
Mm-hmm.
That's a kick to the pistachios.
So you're not only dealing with the physical pain of it, you're also dealing with the mental anguish of why is my body betraying me like this?
Yeah, what is going on? Well, the first time, which could have been a disc issue too. Mm-hmm. Now I think about it.
Oh, I absolutely.
The growing thing. Yeah, I was practicing. I was coaching track, and I was running with the kids, and we was doing sprints. And I hadn't ran, I hadn't stretched, I hadn't done anything, but they were talking enough trash to talk me into a couple of races. And the third race, the only way I can explain it is if your core was one solid muscle in the middle of your body, it felt like it got ripped in half. Mm. Like, if you can imagine that pain. I've never felt anything, and it happened while I was running, like instantly, to the point to where I was trying to, like, you know how you can't just stop running, you have to slow down. Like trying to stop, I could hear it in my ears, like something going, like as I was trying to slow down, like something was grinding. Doctors thought it was a hernia. It wasn't a hernia. They never figured out what it was, but I know it was probably a full year of recovery, but before I felt comfortable, like even jogging again. Mm-hmm. And I still, because I went through that for so long, I still, the way I turn corners, like if you're going up a flight of stairs, you know how it's a sharp turn left or right. I still turn corners weird from remembering that, because it was so long that I couldn't like just step around a corner.
So like
even when I put my socks, I put my socks on different now just from that.
Do you think that's more mental or physically?
No, that's definitely mental.
It's mental.
That's definitely mental. I can't because I can do it just fine, but I can't retrain my muscle memory. I haven't focused on retraining my muscle memory to go back doing the things I used to do.
Mm-hmm. Well, we have a sponsor that can help you with your mentals, and that's BetterHelp. That's Better HELP.
Segwizzy.
Is there something interfering with your happiness or preventing you from achieving your goals? So, as you can see, Marcus fully admits that there is some mental blockaging keeping him from being able to operate the way that he wants to operate. Well, BetterHelp will assist anyone, you, him, me, with your needs and match you with your own licensed professional therapist. And I want to really highlight that. Licensed professional therapist. A lot of us have friends that we're able to lean on and things of that nature. People we can talk to.
Don't y'all trust Keisha with y'all whatever y'all need. Now, if Keisha work for BetterHelp, you
right. If she's a licensed professional therapist for BetterHelp, that's perfect. But you can start communicating in under 48 hours. It's not a crisis line. It's not self-help. It's professional counseling done securely online. There's a broad range of expertise available, which may not be locally available in many areas. The service is available for clients worldwide, so it doesn't matter where you're at. You can be in Hawaii, you can be in South Carolina, you can be in ATL, North Dakota, Canada. They can help you. You can log into your account anytime and send a message to your counselor. You get timely and thoughtful responses, plus you can schedule weekly video or phone sessions so you won't ever have to sit in an uncomfortable waiting room as with traditional therapy. BetterHelp is committed to facilitating great therapeutic matches so that they make it easy and free to change counselors if needed. It's more affordable than traditional offline counseling, and the financial aid is available. BetterHelp wants you to start living a happier life today. So visit their website and read their testimonials. They're posted on their daily. And you can visit betterhelp.com/argue. That's better, HELP, and join the over 1 million people taking charge of their mental health with the help of an experienced professional. In fact, so many people have been using BetterHelp that they are recruiting additional counselors in all 50 states. So again, the special offer that is for just our Is This Going to Cause an Argument listeners is that you will get 10% off your first month at betterhelp.com/argue. So during these trying times with so many things going on in the world, if you feel that you really need help, right?
Like for real. That's yeah.
Go to BetterHelp, HELP.com/argue to get 10% off your first month. So as you were saying, you have been trying to like get yourself places mentally with the fact that you had to take so long to recover from these injuries.
It's like when you're doing something like, particularly, we say the groin injury, granted we don't know what it was. Doctors never could figure it out. They just said rest, relax, don't do anything. But it's like one of those things where if you're doing something like, let's say your arm, you have your left or right arm isn't working, or it hurts for a while, or you had shoulder surgery, or you get used to doing everything with the other hand or the other arm. If you do that for so long, you would just get accustomed to doing that.
Yeah.
So that's what like now it's like when I'm turning a corner. And I don't do it all the time, but sometimes I notice myself still, instead of stepping around a corner, I walk around the corner. You know, it's like instead of taking one step to get around, I'll take like 3 steps to get around. Like I said, even when I put my socks on, it's like sometimes the way I lift my leg, or I try not to lift my leg, but now I have to because of my goddamn back. That's a whole nother one.
Okay, so tell them about the backstory. Like what's happening with, what happened with that? How did it start? Just to get them to speed, and then we'll talk about
get y'all up to speed really quick. So throughout my history, I've had a couple of different back issues, nothing really serious. Just from working out, whether it was, doing something with a sport, swimming. When I was younger, I was diving into a pool, hurt my back kind of bad. Not kind of bad.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it hurt for like a week. I was diving into a pool, and I guess I went in wrong. I think I told my parents, but it wasn't like go to the doctor or anything. But I'm only saying all that from what I learned from it happening severely this time. So I was working out in my garage. I've been having, a couple little back issues here and there. I was working out, and my back started getting kind of sore. So I stopped what I was doing, came in the house. As a matter of fact, I think our friend Brisha was over here. So I was sitting on the couch, sitting in the chair, just listening to y'all talk. And I noticed my back kept hurting more and more and more. Next morning I got up. I could barely move because my back was hurting so bad. So I got up, getting ready for work. I went into work a couple of days later, and it never relaxed. So it got a little better as I moved around. So the next couple of days later, I'm getting ready for work, and I sneezed, and it got extremely bad. Long story short, went to the doctor, got an MRI. It's a severely herniated disc. Basically, your disc is like crab meat, the way he explained, and it completely blew out. Like there's jelly on the inside. The jelly is now pressing against nerves, and that pressing against the nerves is where all the pain comes from.
Right.
So right now I'm still going through that, waiting to get back in. But anyway, it's so severe to where I couldn't lay down, I couldn't stand up, I couldn't set up, I couldn't sit. It was the most excruciating pain I've ever felt in my life. To the point to where you can't even get help getting up. Like, it's painful. Just laying there on your back, stomach, whatever. As soon as you find a comfortable position, you just want to be in that position. Not even comfortable, just a position to where you're not in pain, no matter what it is. So while going through that, I had to lean on Angel like heavily, like more than what I've ever had to. Even like with the quote unquote groin injury, whatever that was, it wasn't as severe as this was. Because Angel literally had to help me lay down. She had to help me get up. I had to sleep a certain way. Like, literally, I didn't even drink water because I knew if I had to use the bathroom in the middle of the night, I could not get up. But while going through that, I didn't realize how, well, going back, now that I have you up to speed on the back, I'll go back to the groin injury. Going through that was one of those things where that was the first time me being injured that kind of way to where it like incapacitated me to where I couldn't do anything. So that was, first and foremost, it was annoying just being injured, not being able to do what you want. But two, that was like the first hit to like, I don't want to say ego, but it's like, what is my body doing? Like, this is not cool.
Yeah.
I don't like this at all.
Like, Marcus already has a complex about his body, as far as in, Marcus will call himself so skinny. Like, when I met Marcus, he was thinner. He was thin. Marcus was under 200 pounds when I met him.
I was like 170, I think.
No, you had more weight.
I was like 180 at the most.
So he was a thinner dude. I was okay with it. I wasn't complaining. And then he did the work to bulk up the way he wanted to, and he got over 200. He had a whole bunch of weight on him. He loved it. So now
240.
Yeah. So now that
250 when she was pregnant with our oldest, that was 250.
He was a biggin. So now that he's trimmed up, like, and not able to work out and not able to like get his muscles where he wants them to be, so you not only have you have already his complex on his body being one thing, then you have capability. He physically isn't capable to do much. And my husband, for those of y'all who haven't got a chance to kind of know him, he is easily kind of frustrated, I guess. Like, things can like get on his nerves. So if it's something where it's actually getting on your nerves, like something that's he's not like, he's not going to front. There's not going to be like, I'm trying to have a pleasant spirit. He's going to be in that. So like, while
I can be an asshole.
Well, I don't want to even call it an ass. It's not like, you being an asshole is one thing, like in your regular day in life, that I can deal with. But when Marcus is in pain, a lot of times it's hard for him to see any type of silver lining, if that makes sense. Yeah. It's the pain is the focus. And trust and believe, I've been in those, because I've had children and birth kids and felt contractions. I have been in those situations where the only thing I can focus on is the pain, but I'm in labor for only a day at most. Like, I don't think any of my labors have been over 24. Maybe little Marcus, his was kind of long. But I'm only in labor for a day, and I even have times where it lets up. And when it lets up, I'm okay. When I'm in the contraction, maybe not. So to have him in constant pain,
awful, yeah.
It's very much, and it's not as if I wasn't trying to not piss him off. Like, I was trying my best to like walk on eggshells with him. And I know for me, it became like a mental, like I was trying to figure out, like, because some days I'd be like, okay, I'm going to try to think ahead of you. Like, no, like, don't let him get hungry, because he did, like, him hungry and in pain, that's not going to work. But the thing is,
I didn't even want to eat. Like,
I know you didn't, but still, like, hunger was going to add to it.
I was like, I don't want to eat, because I can't lay down and eat. Like,
right. So trying to think ahead of his needs so that would be some relief. Like, I knew there was nothing really I could do to help you with your pain, because like, you know, I can pray and that the Lord will heal him, and I was doing that, but there was nothing that Angel herself could do. So I'd be trying to like think ahead so that like it would bring some satisfaction to him, right? But then there would be days because the kids or whatever have you, or either like I'm just worn out, where I would sometimes be like, dude, in my head, and trying my best. Hopefully I didn't do that, and I'm pretty sure it slipped out. But I'm pretty sure in some passive aggressive way that dude slipped out in my actions. But that was that was
definitely
like in my actions, just like see now, because even like he said, like helping him up was sometimes not possible.
Yeah.
And my thing is that I will try as many ways as you want me to try, right? And I know that they might not work, but I'm willing to, like, okay, you want to put your arms around my shoulders and then I'll help you lift that way. Do you want me to get behind you and you kind of roll off of me, or I cross, any of those ways? But Marcus would be so frustrated sometimes just by the ridiculousness of the situation, of the fact that as a grown-ass man, he couldn't get himself off of the couch.
Yeah. Off the couch, mainly off the bed, like when I was laying down, because Angel, she would come in with suggestions like, why don't we try this? It's like, no. Like, why don't try? No. Because, like, literally, I don't, like, can't even lift my legs. Like, couldn't, like, bend, like, you know, your legs are straight and you go to bend your knee. Couldn't even do that. Mm-hmm. So Angel would come in, which I could see where she was coming from. I was just like, no. No, but, like, every time we had an interaction, like, I would think to myself, I really appreciate what she's doing, but I don't think she knows, like, this, like, the suggestion of, so why don't you roll over real quick? I can't roll over real quick.
Here's the thing, is that I'm not expecting that I'm going to knock these suggestions out the park. I'm just offering of, like, you want to try this? And so sometimes it was hard because for me as the spouse trying to help, trying to differentiate his tone that was directed towards the pain versus his tone that is directed towards me. And sometimes his tone was directed towards me and I could tell. And I'd just be like, you know what, I'm gonna just walk out and I'm gonna let him pull it together and I'm gonna come back in a little bit.
Because a no, even if it wasn't directed toward her, a no went from a no to a no.
Right.
Like, but it's just like, I'm exhaling in this moment because this hurts. Like,
right. So, like, it was so crazy is that I had someone in my life going through the same thing with their spouse. Their spouse was going through back pain, and she was just like, listen, I'm gonna tell you what, like, this Negro got one more time, and we about to knuck if you buck, right? So it was, for me, just a huge walk in patience and realizing, like I already have a lot of empathy for my husband. I don't like seeing him in pain. I am cognizant of the fact that my husband likes to lift heavy weights. Like, my husband gets off on that stuff. He gets off on being strong. Like, he is stereotypical dude in that. Like,
ain't nothing like squatting 455. Like, it's great.
He loves
Repping
that.
It. 10 reps, 12 reps.
He loves it. So I had to also recognize that a part of his identity was being put off on a shelf for God knows how long. Like, a part of the thing that brings him joy.
I no longer do that.
You said I cannot.
I don't even try. I'm like, you know what? I'll stick with this 315. Or I might even drop it down to, I don't know, something else. And I just do 1,000 reps. I don't need to go heavy no more.
Right. So, yeah, a part of his identity was being pushed off and put onto a shelf because it was going to deteriorate his back health even more. So I was trying to be as compassionate about that, because as much as it sounds vain to be like, oh, so you mad because you can't have big muscles no more? Like, for real?
Yeah. No, it is. Oh, go ahead.
No, you go.
No, go.
I do understand that that's a part of what brought him joy. Him working out was one of the things that he loved spending time doing, and knowing that was being taken away from him, I had to recognize that in his not only was his physical health under attack, also, like, his mental health was also under attack. And it can be hard trying to juggle that as the spouse, especially because none of my responsibilities shifted. And we were dealing with his back during COVID. So we were dealing with his back at the top of the pandemic. Top of this
whole thing.
So we're both trying to figure that out. And we're grateful that he's able to work or whatever.
I didn't know if that was going to last. I snapped on them when they called me.
Yeah.
It's like, you in there? I said, I'm on the bed in pain. What do you want? Like, this is like somebody that's above the person that's above me. I was like, so you wasn't in yesterday? Not going to be in this week. Bye.
Just not having it. But what else did you want from me in that situation?
There's nothing else that you could have, like, everything that you did in those moments, like, I still greatly appreciate. In that moment, I appreciated it. Even in my frustration, I was just like, I understand what you're thinking to myself. I understand. Yeah, I even told you, I understand what you're trying to do. But it's not, it's too painful to even, like, attempt.
Yeah.
Because, like, even once I would get to my feet, it's like my spine went from, like, this to this. Now everything being compressed was excruciating. So it was a couple times we finally got me to my feet, and I had to lay back down immediately.
You were like, put me back down, put me back down, put me down. And
oh my God. It, like, on the brink of tears for like a week. Like,
yeah, it was.
I mean, a couple times I did cry when she wasn't in the room. I was like, I didn't take it. She gone.
Why would you? Did you really cry when I wasn't in there?
No, it wasn't because you wasn't in there. It was just like, this hurts.
Yeah, but
and it was like an ego. Like, it was part of ego. It's just like, what is happening to me? Am I ever gonna be normal again?
Did you purposefully?
I'm not normal yet.
Did you purposefully ever hold in your tears and not cry while I was in the room?
Nah.
Okay.
No, this was me laying there, like, just going through everything in my mind.
Uh-huh.
And fighting through the pain in the moment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was on muscle relaxer?
I was on 4 different. I was on a muscle relaxer, anti-inflammatory, some other thing that had like an opioid warning on it, which I still have those just in case something crazy happens. Mm-hmm. And I don't remember. And the other one was to help me sleep. So if I were to take 2 of those, the opioid thing and the sleeping thing at the same time, it would like get me to sleep through the night. But what scared me about that is being asleep in a wrong position, and then waking up, like, you know, in the morning, like, oh my God, what did I do to myself? Like,
right. And so you're not taking any of those right now, are you?
No, I'm not. I think I'm supposed to be taking the like anti-inflammatory, but I don't like putting nothing in my body like it. Like, they gave me, I had to fill out this paperwork dealing with that one, the opioid. I'm like, y'all ain't got to worry about me getting addicted to nothing.
You're like, I'm not.
Like, I won't take it. I was like, even if you're not in pain, take it. No.
Well, I mean, thank God that you're not having to be on any of those pain medications before that you were on before, because now you can drink. Which brings me to our next sponsor, Usual Wines.
Usual Wines.
Oh, they are a friend of mine. I love me some Usual Wines. They have been sponsors of this podcast before, and let me tell you, they are a good sponsor. Usual Wines are wines for the modern drinker. Each bottle is 6.3 ounces, a heavy pour, or about 1.5 glasses of usual wine. No more pouring wine down the sink when you don't want to finish a bottle, because the single serve format and bottle design, Usual Wines is always fresh. No more flat, bubbly, or stale rosé. I have to say, they have some of the crispest rosé I have ever had. Like, it is just like, really good. It's got like a bright taste. Oh, I love it.
And that red, oh my God.
Did you love the red? I actually have ordered some because we'll be, for the first time, having people over in our backyard for a little festivity. It's just 2 adults. But I plan on serving Usual Wines so that we don't have to pass a bigger bottle around. They can have their own bottle.
Yeah, and so because they come in this
like beakers. They're
it
so
looks
cute.
Like a beaker. And they're big. It ain't like it's enough for you to drink and you won't waste any.
Yes. So Usual Wines are made from world-class AVAs, that's American Viticultural Area in California, like Napa, Sonoma, and Santa Barbara, and are made with minimal intervention, zero sugar and 0 additives. The wines are low carb and have 0 grams of sugar. Usual has a red blend, a rosé, a sparkling white wine called Brut, and they also have a limited production of Brut Rosé just for the summer. And I'm going to be ordering that in my next one because it's so good. So no more sugar. That means that, well, let me explain that a little bit more. Did you know that in the U.S. there are over 60 additives allowed by law to be used in winemaking? Okay, Usual doesn't use any chemicals or sugar additives to enhance the flavors or stability of their wine. They are truly a clean wine brand. And grapes, they do contain sugar, which everybody knows that's how wine is made. However, to clarify, all Usual wines are produced using a natural, sustainable grapes harvested every fall. These grapes are picked at optimal ripeness to ensure all sugars will be fermented completely until the wines are dry with no residual sugar. All that's left is a delicious, clean wine. So the way they ferment, in goes sugar and out comes alcohol. Some winemakers purposefully end fermentation early to keep a little sugar in their wine. Usual wines are fermented until no more sugars are in the wine. This ensures that the wines are dry as possible and lower in calorie. So go check out their website at www.usualwines.com and use our discount code ARGUE for $8 off your first order and try your first glass on us. Again, go to usualwines.com and use our promo code ARGUE for $8 off your first order. And come on, drink up with us. Thank you so much to Usual Wines. They have been very good to this podcast. We so appreciate them. And remember, supporting our sponsors and checking them out also supports this podcast. So we thank you all in advance. Okay. So, do you really feel like I feel like I did? I don't know. I don't know if that's like nurturer in me that's like, okay, it's time for me to take care of my husband. And maybe it's like a little bit easier to
versus what?
Normal.
What would be normal?
Like now. Like now sometimes there's stuff that you might want for me to do, and I'm just like, well, you can do it yourself. You able-bodied.
Nah, it's like I'm not one of those. I wouldn't lean on you to do stuff that I could do unless I really needed you to.
Mm-hmm.
This is like I'll get frustrated because it's like something at the end of the day. Oh my God, I didn't get to do this, so I gotta do it. And you just like, no, I'll do it tomorrow. Like a lot of times, I don't want you to have to. I'll rather just do it myself.
Mm-hmm.
But no, I like same with you. It's just like that. It's like a second nature. Like this is what you're supposed to do. So then it just kicks in. You don't even think about it.
Now, for me, with my alopecia, I have asked you before, and you were kind of like, "Oh yeah, it was," like after the fact. Like, if you all haven't seen, please check out my YouTube channel. I did an alopecia update a while ago. Once my hair really started growing back while I was pregnant with Amar, it actually has a lot of views and a lot of comments. I'm going to do another one soon. But for me making that video, I got to really see how much hair I'd lost. I'd lost a lot. 30 to 40% of my entire hair had come out of my head, and there wasn't much that I could do to stop it. And when my husband met me, I had a lot of hair.
She's always had a lot.
I've always had a lot. That's actually, it's so funny.
Her hair is my working out.
Yes.
It's like the same thing.
We are Samson and Delilah for real. Like, well, we're both Samson. Like, he's Samson in strength, and I am Samson in hair. So, like, I've always been known to not be bald-headed. Like, to have a lot of hair. A lot of thick hair. So, losing my hair was definitely, like, out of all the things that I could lose, why the thing that has been an identifier for me for so long? Yeah. Like, my toes I don't like. They're not cute. Now, granted, I don't want to lose my toes.
No,
but like
don't speak down on your toes.
No.
Like,
but when my toenails were going through, and from running the marathon and running, and the toenails were falling off, I wasn't hurt by that. I was just like, well, it'll grow back. Because I ain't never had cute toes. Right? So I was just like...
to miss a couple of toenails, that's fine. Right. Hopefully it'll grow back looking better.
Right. I was like, for now, we'll get acrylic. And then when it grow back, great. If it don't grow back right, we'll just keep getting acrylic. It wasn't like, oh, my beautiful feet. So with me losing my hair, what was that like for you? For
me, it was probably the same as you witnessing me lose something that's dear to me. It's like, it bothered me in so many different ways. Like, we discovered this. Of course, it made that night horrible because we never have great nights. But it was at one of my company's holiday parties. And Angel was asking me, what were you asking me to do?
I wanted you to part my hair because I was about to do a cute
she was about to do a little cute hairdo. She was like, do me a favor, part. I don't know how to part hair. But I'm, trying to do my thing. And I'm looking and I'm just like, it was like a smaller than a dime size, like little bald spot. And I'm like, you got a bald spot right here. She's like, well, so she looks. And we checking the rest of her head. We don't see anything, but that like...
You found another spot.
Did I?
Yeah, you found two.
In the back. Mm-hmm. One in the back. I was like, there's another one. So, of course, that set the tone for the rest of the night. Like, I feel awful. Now I got to go down here and put on these fake smiles for these people because I can feel her energy. Like, because that's Angel's hair. You know, it's like, you like shave my beard off. It's like, what? Like, you don't see, I ain't got no chin, actually. It's just a bottom lip and teeth.
Whatever.
No, so it's like, to see her go through that, it hurt me. It's like, I feel bad. You feel so bad to the point it's like, there's nothing you can do. Like, I can't make her hair grow. Only thing I can do. And I prayed about that, like, often. Like, that was like a nightly and daily prayer. Like, every night, every morning. Like, come on, fix this. That was right along, like, when my dad was sick. That was, like, right after right after I would pray for him, her hair was next.
Thank you. Like, that's so sweet of you.
And then seeing, like, and Angela would even ask me, it's like, is this spot bigger? And honestly, I couldn't see if it was bigger, but even if it was, I wasn't going to be like, yeah, it's a whole lot bigger.
No, he would always be like, nah, it look about the same. It will look about the same.
I really couldn't remember because I'd be like, I don't even want to think about it. But like, yeah, seeing her go through that is just like, yeah, it's like, what do you do?
Yeah, it was definitely during that time. Let me tell you, what I appreciated was that you never made me feel worse about my hair. Here's the thing, because I also knew my husband liked my hair. My husband, you know how a lot of times you end up marrying the parent that is opposite gender of you. Like, so in a lot of ways, I know I remind my husband of his mother. His mother has always had long hair. His mother used to have hair all the way down her back. So hair has always been a thing that he has appreciated. Not that he doesn't like short hair. If the haircut is adorable,
dope, yeah.
He loves it. But I know one of the things that he liked about me is that I had a lot of hair, because that was kind of a show off. Because he knew not everybody got a lot of hair. So, not that I ever thought my husband was that much of a jerk that he would be like, oh, so you just balding now, huh? But he never made me feel like the way I probably made him feel when he was ready to shave his hair bald. I did not want him to. I was like, no, don't shave it bald yet. Like, I loved Marcus's hair. I now love the way he looks like this, but it took a while for it to grow on me. It took a while for it to grow on me, but he had to shave his head because he was not about to watch his hairline slowly recede.
I wasn't going to fight for it.
So for me, it was like, oh man, like, I know not only is this like an important thing to me, I know this was an attraction factor for him. And that's one thing I did appreciate, was that he never made me feel less than pretty to him, even though like it was a scary sight. Like, and the reason why I know it was a scary sight, anytime I showed it to any of my girlfriends, the gasp that would come out of their mouth.
There would be no chill, like, my God, oh, Angel, what are you gonna do? One of her friends just laughed because she couldn't believe it. And she laughed, like, out of, like, she was horrified. She wasn't like, that's funny. It was like, Like, that's
Yeah.
your reaction?
Yeah, people couldn't. They didn't know what to
I
do.
wanted to choke her ass out. I might call her today. We're like, you remember you laughed? Make her feel bad about herself.
It was like, and for me, I deal with traumatic things usually one or two ways, right? I either become extremely transparent about it, right? Because I don't want to give anybody power over me in that moment. I never want shame to be the overriding thing that determines what my actions are going to be. So I usually become, let's get transparent about it. I'm losing my hair. Boom. That way, can't nobody be like, did y'all see that bald spot on Angel's head? I already showed you. Everybody saw the bald spot. Or either I deal with it comedically, which I dealt with the alopecia that way too. I got jokes for days when it comes to my alopecia. But it was still like a thing that was so out of my control that I'm still dealing with, because I have a couple of patches here or there that, like, I don't know if I could have gotten to the point of surrendering to the experience if it wasn't for the fact that you weren't making me feel some type of, like, I had surrendered to, Lord, if you decide that I'm not supposed to have any more hair on my head, I'm okay with that. Lord, you know I want hair, and if you decide to give it back to me, I'm okay with that too.
I was like, Lord, you bet not.
Because the one thing he did say, because I was going to pull with a Tiffany Haddish. I was like, I wasn't going to do it automatically, but I had been debating that I didn't know how far I would let it go, because it got really big. It, like, one spot had gotten like this big on my head.
Yeah. It was like
I forgot, some of you all are not watching.
Palm size, like.
Yeah, big old basketball player hand palm size. One spot had gotten that big. And I was trying to debate, like, how long I would deal with trying to finesse my hair on my head to cover the spot. So I was like, one day, not one day, if it were to get worse, I'm going to go out like a G, and I'm going to shave my head bald. And my husband was like, we're not there.
Not yet.
We are not rocking matching hairstyles. That's what we're not going to do. You need to completely pause on that. Oh, no.
Not that I got anything against that, because some women be rocking the hell out them bald heads. Them fades.
Why were you like, no, though?
Huh? Because that ain't you. You ain't there yet. If you go there, hey.
He said, but it ain't you right now. Come on. It's not you right now. Now, what about when I've dealt with losing jobs? How has that been?
I'm like, the hell with this career. Do something different now. So that's another one. It's like, Angel, when she be losing jobs, it's usually, not even usually, it's always political. It's always a political move, and it never works out for them in the long run. So that's what we know for a fact.
Yeah.
But when that happens, I have to put on a facade, because I take it personal. Like, against the people whose decision it was, against the career itself, Hollywood, like all of that. Like, I take it personal, but I put it on for her, and I don't know how much it helps her, but I constantly remind her how much better she is than the role that she was up for. And that's one of the things that I just constantly do, is it's like, they passed up, whatever, move on to the next one. The hell with that one, wasn't meant to be, we move on to the next one. They're gonna regret it. We're gonna let them regret it, but move on to the next one.
Shantae, one of our Patreon members, asked if the Chelsea Handler show loss cut deep. All of them cut deep.
Yeah, they cut. The only thing go ahead. That just kept resurfacing.
The Chelsea one more so, like, the reason why I was able to get over the Chelsea one first was that, like, Chelsea Handler called me personally to tell me how talented she thought I was, and how she just really knows that I'm going to be something big, and she's sorry that the show was having to go into another direction. So and as well as the director did. So it was kind of like, for me, affirmation that like, yo, you're not out here stinking it up. It's
Mm-hmm.
stuff that's out of your hands. The thing about the Chelsea one that hurt me was that when the show got picked up, they made it news that I got fired. That was the angle. The angle of news outlets was, we'll talk about the fact that they fired Angel, Joe Coy, and Natalie Morales. Mind you, I had never made any type of national news like that. And the first time I'm on national news, it's about me being let go of from a show. That definitely hurt me because I had already healed. You know what I'm saying? I had moved on like a big girl. I put on my big girl panties and said, this is the industry that you're in, Angel. And sometimes this happens. So you just move on. You're not about to sit here and cry about it. There are people who have cancer and you crying about that you didn't get a big TV show. You'll be okay. So, but then when that happened, I was just like, duh.
Yeah.
Like, why we, and by this time, Joe Coy had already had a special going. Natalie, I think, was on another show. I was the only one that was not working. So it was like, it was such a kick to who I felt like I was. It was a kick to my ego. I had a friend who lived in Malaysia. Like an acquaintance hit me up on Facebook and was like, I saw you on the news. I mean, it was about you being fired, but I saw I was like, I'm in Malaysia. What are we doing? Go ahead.
Yeah, and what's crazy is how much people love the fail.
Mm-hmm.
People love the fail. People like, that misery loves company, because people will make that bigger. That was bigger news than the actual show. Mm-hmm. The show didn't even go a full season.
No, it was terrible. But go ahead.
No, but what's crazy is even on our vlog that we do, it's like I got hired, like that gets let's say out of 10,000 views, hired gets 3,000 views. I get fired gets 10,000 views.
Yeah,
it's like, why are y'all flocking to the misery?
That's
but people love that. People love, like, they want to talk about it. They want to talk about people's fit. That's just what people do. And
so what did I do? I quickly made a video showing that I was on the news for being fired. Again, like I said, when it comes to tragic.
Come on, Trump.
When it comes to tragic things and things that things that cut me deeply, I get very transparent about it. Like, whoop, look at this. I got fired a long time ago. I'm actually claiming unemployment on that job right now. However, ting, ting, ting. Have you ever been fired from a job and it made the national news? I think not. I did, though, because that's how special I am. So, like, that I had to go into protect myself mode very quickly because I didn't want it to be something that, like I said, anybody could use against me. And I know for my husband, he would love to just clap back at these people because these are all like executives. They're not like they're not people in the gym getting muscles.
Yeah, and I'm not a social media clap back. I'm just gonna meet you, go walk into your car, long day at work. And
right.
What's up, Henry?
And a part of me sometimes wants to let him unleash.
Oh, don't. Just give me the word.
I want to be like, it's these people. They the ones who decided to let me go.
Is that one lot that we went to at time? Yeah.
Yeah, I'd be like, this is their name. This is their picture on LinkedIn. By all means, bust them up. But I don't.
With a smile. It's weird. We caught him on security camera. He's smiling the whole time. Have you talked to the arresting officers that showed up at this scene? No, we haven't. We're here on the scene now. He still seems to be smiling. It's very awkward. When I asked him, he just said he's here to do his part. So we're going to look further into this and get back to you, Karen.
And sometimes I be feeling bad because while Marcus knows I've never went into this relationship as feeling like I needed a protector. Because I have it in life, being raised with all women, it was something that we had to teach ourselves how to do for ourselves. But that is not how Marcus was raised. He feels like that is a part of his responsibility of being my husband and being the head of this household. So part of me do be feeling bad that I'm like, I can't let you protect me like that. But he does. You do protecting in your own way. By Marcus big ups me. He lets me know. Put like this, he's on the same, as much as he hates his career, he's on the same train that I'm on. He's like, that's all right. The next project is gonna be the thing. He is on that mindset, as much as he doesn't want to have to be, to protect my peace and to protect my sanity. He jumps on the train that he knows that I was on already, which is, this is going to work out. Don't worry. Yeah. Let those ships fall where they may. This, where I know that is not Marcus normally.
I'm like, nah, let's go sink his ship and board the next one. Right. So is there, in those instances, is there anything that I haven't done that you would want me to do, or that you think I may be unaware of? I
just think with the alopecia, if you, I need, I am a optimistic realist, and Marcus was just optimism. Yeah. And I needed the
girl, you ain't losing no hair. Get out here.
I needed the realism, because I would get shocked when I would go back and see the photos of how different the hair was.
Yeah, well, for me, it was, okay, here's a bald spot, and it's big. Uh-huh. Is it bigger? It don't look any bigger than what it did last time, because it's big. Like,
right. So I think you didn't know to do this, and I didn't know to tell you to do this. If there would have been a way for you to be like, let me start measuring this so I can tell you exactly how much bigger. Because it's on my head, there's only so much I could do to like figure out. I mean, I was like trying to take pictures, but sometimes if there's not a point of relevance, like if I didn't have my finger on it, it's like hard to even compare it to like, was the camera closer? Was the camera further away? So just because I can deal with facts. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, you tell me we ain't got no money and they about to take our cars. While I don't want that to happen, I know how to operate once the facts are being given. I'm like, okay, so this is what we're going to do. When I don't have the facts and then I am surprised by them, I'll be like,
yeah,
I don't.
You just had in the cars.
Right, but I know how to operate. I know, the people are coming to what do they call it? Repossess.
Like, no, they think they come.
Yeah. Oh, okay. That's what they think they doing. I got people that we can park our cars at. That's cool. That's fine. Right. Like, but
they better come with cops.
That was probably the only thing that, Marcus knows that my love language is words of affirmation, and he's worked really hard on that. And I know he didn't want to feed me negative, but a part of my love language of words of affirmation is constructive criticism. Is like, I like real words. I like if this looks good, but lead with the good. Absolutely. Lead with the good. Now, I'm an optimistic realist. Lead with, there is a lot of hair sprouting up. Yeah, that looks good. I will say it looks like it's probably a centimeter bigger in diameter.
Yeah, when the hair was growing back, I was all about it. Like, yeah, this spot right here is almost covered.
Right. He's like, you see,
look how long his hair is. You see that?
This tuft of hair. It's a tuft of hair. Okay. So that's the only thing that I was just like, ugh.
Because the rest still bald. Don't worry about that. We talking about this right here.
Oh, so yeah, that's it. But anyways, you guys, tell me, have you ever been in the situation where you have had to take care of a spouse or a loved one, someone other than a child, where you, one, either found it difficult to care for them, or if you were the one being cared for, if there were things that you wish could have been done differently, but you just weren't able to vocalize it in a way that would have been beneficial for both parties? Leave that in the comments of wherever you're watching, or you can tweet me at Angel the Actress on Twitter. You can also find me on there at That Chick Angel. It's just not my handle. Again, we want to say a special thank you to our Angel Wings who are watching us live.
What's up, Angel Wings? So where my tank punches at? Y'all didn't even...
Oh yeah, the tank punches.
I'm only keeping the name because y'all like it. I don't like it, but I'm gonna stick with it.
You got to come up with something better.
I know. I've been trying.
Bless your heart.
Yeah.
But yes, special thank you to them, and a special thank you to our 3 sponsors. We have Magic Spoon, BetterHelp, and Usual Wines. Please be sure to use all of our promo codes so you can get the discounts that they are giving our special listeners. And you guys, we are excited to come back to you next Wednesday. Hopefully.
Absolutely.
I don't think I'm going to be ready for us to start our series in August because I've just been so busy. But either by the mid-August or September, or heck, it might not be until third quarter, we're going to start these series. And I really, really think these are going to be great. They're going to be learning series for not just me and Marcus, but for you all as well. So anything else you want to add?
I ain't got nothing to add, y'all.
Okay. All right. Well,
what I need to add?
Nothing. If you good,
Yeah.
I'm good.
I'm good. Get y'all some man shit.
Oh, yeah. Always. Manshit.com. MANSHYT. And we'll be adding a promo code to our Patreon here soon so that you all who are Patreon members can get a discount. All right. You all be blessed, and we'll talk to you all later.
Y'all have a good one, family.
Bye.
That chick ain't